No matter your machine, your mask, or your condition, one of the biggest reasons people quit CPAP therapy is the discomfort of the entire process. So one way to help you persevere with what is proven to greatly improve sleep health outcomes is to get your comfort settings the best they can be. And that is what this video is all about. How to optimize your comfort settings for the AirSense 11 to get your CPAP game tight and yet comfortable. Well, hi there, I'm Ruben from RespShop. Since 2008, we've helped over 1 million CPAP users with everything from equipment to support to know-how. Our website has equipment and information, and we also have a Facebook and Instagram account, so check them out if that's of interest to you, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this. Now, you're probably aware of the My Options button on the home screen, which lets you make some adjustments to your settings. There are some comfort settings on there that you can change, but there are more comfort settings and more options in the hidden clinical menu for this machine. So I'm going to show you how to access that menu and make more refined changes to your comfort settings. Now, I must mention that the clinical menu is hidden for a reason. It's possible to use this menu to change your therapy settings like your pressure. But this should only be done in consultation with a medical professional. But we aren't going to be touching any of those therapy settings anyway. I'm just going to be talking you through comfort settings, which are typically fine for you to change to suit your needs, so don't worry. To access the clinical menu, go to the home screen of your machine and press and hold both the My Options and the My Sleep View buttons for about 3 seconds. If this is the first time that you've done this, the machine will ask whether you want to continue. Once you confirm, the background will then turn white. It will say Clinical Home at the top, the More button at the bottom will now be Exit, and My Options will change to Settings. To get back to the home screen, just click the new Exit button, but we don't want to do that for now. With the clinical menu now available, press the Settings button. The first settings in this list are to do with your therapy, and we won't cover those in this video. If you want to know about changing your therapy settings in the clinical menu, we've done another video explaining how to do just that. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, or you can click the card above me to watch that one. So, scroll past the therapy settings and get to the comfort settings section. The first setting here is AutoSet Response, so long as you have your machine set to the AutoSet mode, which will be most people. AutoSet Response is not in the normal My Options menu. It has two options, Standard or Soft. Standard means that the algorithm will increase and decrease the machine pressure at the standard rate, which is designed to maximize therapy outcomes. But Soft will make those same pressure changes, but more gently, and therefore trade a bit of effectiveness for more comfort. Since you're looking for comfort right now, consider putting this into Soft mode to smooth out those sudden changes in pressure during the night. If you find that it adversely affects your therapy, then you can always swap it back. But it is a comfort setting, so it shouldn't negatively impact your therapy too much, so give it a try. If you don't see this option, then it's probably because your therapy is set to CPAP mode, where the pressure is constant and can't vary, in which case don't worry about it and skip on to the next setting. The next option is also available in the usual My Options menu. It's called Ramp Time. Ramp is a feature that allows your therapy pressure to start low when you first go to bed and then ramp up to your prescription level once you drop to sleep. The reason people like to use Ramp is so that the pressure is less strong and less intrusive while you're trying to go to sleep, and you don't need the pressure at your therapy level. But it then needs to let the air pressure reach those levels once you're asleep to keep you sleeping. Ramp is all about comfort while you try to fall asleep. When you click on Ramp Time, you will see Off, Auto, and then a series of numbers going up in 5-minute increments from 5 to 45. If you have this off, then your prescribed therapy pressure will begin as soon as you start therapy. In other words, there is no ramp time. If you choose Auto, then your pressure will start lower than your therapy level and will stay low until the machine detects that you've fallen asleep, at which point it will then automatically ramp up the pressure to your therapy levels. This is usually a good option for most people. Alternatively, you can fix the time the machine is ramping up in increments of 5 minutes. The minimum ramp time is 5 minutes and the maximum is 45. Choose a number that best fits your sleep pattern here if you know how long it takes you to typically nod off. And maybe add a few extra minutes too, as you won't need full therapy pressure straight away. The next setting is Start Pressure. This setting is linked to ramp and sets the pressure level that the machine delivers during the ramp period. The numbers indicate the pressure that it will be at the start of the ramp period. The The lowest you can set is 4, and the highest will be whatever the lowest pressure in the algorithm can range between when your therapy pressure kicks in. Because ramp is only effective while you're still awake, it's a feature purely for comfort. You can change this as much as you like, and it shouldn't affect the quality of your therapy. So you can experiment here to find what's right for you. Our advice is to keep the start pressure as low as you can for maximum comfort, and to make sure that you either have it set to auto or to a manually set time that won't mean that you're still in ramp mode after having been asleep for more than 10 minutes or so. The next setting is also in the My Options menu, but it's labeled different between the patient and the clinical menus. In the patient menu, it's labeled as pressure relief, and in the clinical menu, it's labeled as EPR, which stands for expiratory pressure relief. So they're referring to the same thing here. In both cases, it's a simple on-off slider. This feature instructs the algorithm to drop the pressure when it detects that you're breathing out, which can help you exhale air against the incoming pressure more easily. Since you're looking for comfort right now, why not turn it on if it isn't already? It shouldn't negatively affect your therapy effectiveness. If you're in the clinical menu like we are, if you set EPR to on, then there will be 2 further settings that do not appear in the patient menu. EPR type controls when the EPR is on. If you select full time, then it's going to always be on during your entire period of therapy. If you select ramp only, then it will only be on during the ramp period that you set earlier. Again, it shouldn't affect your therapy, so why not have it on full time for maximum comfort? Next, there's EPR level, which sets how much the pressure drops off when your machine detects that you're exhaling. The number can be set between 1 and 3. And this indicates the amount of pressure that will drop on your exhalation in centimeters H2O. So 1 will drop your pressure by 1 centimeter H2O, and 3 will drop it by 3 centimeters H2O. This means that the higher the number here, the greater the pressure drop on your exhalation. Like my other advice, feel free to experiment to get this just right for you. 3 is normally fine as long as it doesn't affect your therapy, but set the number lower if you find that that works better for you. The next setting depends on whether you have climate line tubing or slimline tubing. If you have slimline tubing, the next setting you'll see is humidity level, so let's start there. This setting changes the moisture levels entering the air from the humidifier. The idea here is to put enough moisture into the air to avoid your airway from getting dried out, which is uncomfortable, but not too much humidity that you get water sloshing around in the tube, which is known as rainout, which causes gurgling noises, water droplets to spray on your face, and just generally it disrupts your sleep. This setting can be turned off or set to a numerical level. There is no auto option here, so it's a case of finding the right level for both you and the environment in which you live. Drier climates can need more humidification added than more humid ones. A level of 4 is generally a good place to start, and you can adjust this up or down based on whether you find that you're getting a dry mouth through the night or breathing overly moist air. Now, if you use climate line tubing, instead of humidification, you'll see 2 settings: climate control and tube temperature. Climate control is similar to humidification, so the same principles apply here as with the slimline tubing. The only difference is that there is also an option to choose auto and have the algorithm detect and modulate the humidity according to the ambient humidity and temperature in your room. If you set climate control to manual instead, then the humidity level setting appears and works in the same way as the slimline tubing. I recommend that you set climate control to auto, at least to begin with. Tube temperature works as you would expect. It controls the temperature of the tube and therefore controls the temperature of the air that you're breathing. The temperature is primarily a comfort feature. Breathing in cold air is less pleasant than warm air, and it's easier for your lungs to extract oxygen from warm air as well. Again, I suggest setting this to auto to begin with. Later, if you want, you can manually set the tube temperature or humidity levels if you find that the automatic algorithm isn't working for you. Side note, if you don't have climate line tubing for your AirSense 11, it really can make a big difference to the comfort of your sleep, and it's not a large investment compared to the machine itself. So maybe hop over to RespShop.com to see about getting one for yourself. It does make a big difference. And that about does it for the listed comfort settings. But before you leave the clinical menu, I recommend that you swipe down to where it says Patient menu. If you toggle this to Advanced instead, you'll get some of the advanced comfort options that we've just been adjusting, available to change from the usual My Options menu on the home screen. It will also give you more detailed data on your sleep report. To know about that, see the video we've done on sleep data linked above me or in the description below. With the Patient menu switched to Advanced, it's time to leave the clinical menu and get back to the usual home screen. So press Exit to return. As with most things CPAP, Getting the comfort settings just right can take a bit of trial and error. You should now have more access to advanced options in your normal menu, so feel free to play around with them to get it working right. And you can always dive back into the clinical menu if you need to. Hit like on this video so you can reference it again in case you need to do that in future. As I said at the beginning, having a comfortable night's sleep is an important part of persevering with your therapy and getting the health results that you deserve. And friends, I'm asking a favor. Get in the comments below and let me know what comfort settings you typically have on, what you find you can't live without, or anything that I said that you found that you don't put on auto, that you have on manual mode, and why. Remember, if you have any CPAP questions or are curious about ways to improve your setup or routine, then you can check out the info and equipment on our website, RespShop.com, or call one of our qualified sleep technicians. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until next time, sleep tight. Bye-bye for now.